Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's WannabeJacks back with another video. Hey guys, I know it has been 9 months since I last uploaded, which is kind of crazy to think because it feels like yesterday I was recording my last video. I was gone for 9 months because, well, if you haven't guessed, 9 months equals school. So yeah, I was gone because of school, which kind of sucks, and I didn't think I'd have to, but I just got really busy with a lot of clubs and extracurricular activities and my studies, and I really just didn't have time to edit and to record and to come up with good ideas, and I didn't want to be putting up half-assed stuff that I wasn't having fun making because I was, so panicked about school. So I just said to myself I was just going to leave it for the 9 months and I'd come back in summer and have it for, full swing for 3 months. This video isn't just, hi guys, I'm back. This video is actually being made because something really creepy happened to me just 2 days ago that I was kept up the first night, like the night after, the night of it, the thing happened. See, I can't even talk. This thing has freaked me out so much. Let's just start at the beginning. The story begins with 2 of my friends coming over for a fun day at my house, and then we decided let's go for a walk. Now, I know what you're thinking. A walk. Don't worry, that's not the scary part of the story. So we walked for about 1.5 kilometers down the road I live on, and the road I live on kind of starts to go into countryside after the 1.5 kilometers. And we're near the end of this road, there's this shop, and beside the shop's a river, and there's like a bridge that goes over the river. I don't know why that took me so long to process. There's a bridge that goes over the river, obviously, and either side of the river there's like places you can go down into. On the right side you can either go before the river or after the river. There's 2 different sections. And both sides you have to like hop something to get in there. So on the further side of the bridge, which is like once you've crossed the river, if you go down into that area beside the riverbank, you have to like climb over this wall and you have to like walk around. And then the other one is a little more desert. I think I'm explaining that this is really hard to explain. I should just like take a photo. Okay guys, so I spent most of this video trying to describe the area that I was in, and it was really difficult, so I just said, hey, I'll draw a map. So, oops, I just hit my lamp. Basically what I was on about was there's a road here, the river crosses here, there's fields kind of to the left, and then to the right we got forests. So as you can see here, the other side of the river that we didn't go to, there's a wall here. You actually have to go down here, hop a smaller wall and walk all the way down, and there's a forest, and that's where everyone goes. We didn't go there because we're morons. We went to the other side of the river, which is here. So my friends and I, we said, look, we'll go down, we'll sit by the riverbank and we'll play Uno, okay? Yeah, I know Uno ruins lives, but we said we'd play it. So to get down to this riverbank, there's like this wall that runs along the road where you'd have to get over the wall to go down to the riverbank, but the wall's really high. However, this house used to be beside the riverbank, so there's actually this gate that's about, I'd say, like up to my hip in size, maybe a bit higher than my hip, and there's like this little abandoned house. So when you hop this little gate, and this is what it looked like. You hopped this little gate. Here was a house. These oh yeah, by the way, this and this is a wall as well that you couldn't like climb over. It was really high, and there was like trees coming over it. These little squiggles here, they're shrubs. So this house was like surrounded by shrubs. It's really hard to see it. There was this trail here that like 2 or 3 people could walk a breath in. When you got near to the end of this, you could turn left onto this trail here, or you could go around here and up the bridge. Now, this forest, you can only get through it if you follow the trail. Otherwise, there's just a load of trees, load of bushes and everything. Once you got through this trail, you had the riverbank. Remember I mentioned like a cement kind of square rectangle? Well, that's this, and he was like at this railing. I have a photo of the riverbank, which is here. My friend took a panorama so you can kind of get a good idea of what it looked like. And on the side we were on, this bridge was at the end of like the loop. It was like here, and it's about maybe like 4 meters high. So when you're walking around the trail, once you get up here, you're like staring up at this 4-meter wall and on the top's the bridge. But once you're up on that bridge, the only way down is to come back down that slope, because obviously you're not going to jump 4 meters onto the like loop trail. And the only way out of this place is the little gate that's here. I don't know, like maybe it's like 1.5 meters width. About that. I haven't even gotten onto the story yet. It's just describing the area is really important to understanding the story, okay? Here's what happened. We didn't want to go to the opposite riverbank that's like across. Actually, in this photo, you can see the other side of the riverbank I'm on about. That's where people usually go, but we didn't want to go there because it was a nice day and we said, oh look, everyone's going to be there, so we'll go the other side. So we hopped this little fence. Now, I had been in there 3 times before, okay, and everything was fine. And every time I went there, I went with this friend of mine, and he always told me this story, and I never believed him. And he's probably watching this, and I'm really sorry, and you're going to hate me, but I always thought you were lying. He told me that he'd been in there one time before, and this old man ran out of the abandoned house and, like, chased him with a gun and was yelling at him, get out, him and his friends. And I always thought this was, like, bullshit, because it's very hard to get guns in Ireland, and I was like, this isn't real. So I never believed him. And this same friend and I had been in this forest area just a few weeks ago, and we had gone up to this abandoned house and like walked around and to see if there was a way in and see if it really was abandoned, and it was abandoned. Like, we didn't get in, but you could see in the window, and the place was just like rotted. So like no one lives in this house, no one lives in this forest area. Anyways, back to what happened 2 days ago. My friends and I hopped the fence, we walked around the trail, we took those photos that I showed you. And then we walked up onto the bridge and we sat at the edge of the bridge, which is like, if you walk another step, you're going to be in the river basically, which is also a 4-meter drop. And we played Uno. Now, say where I'm sitting right now, if this was where I was sitting on the day, I had my back to the forest area, so I was staring away from the loop and the trail. Which, by the way, the other side of the bridge did go into another field, but the field was like a 4 or 5 meter drop, and there was all shrubs growing at the side of the bridge, so it was like a wall of bushes, so you couldn't actually like get out. Like, the only way was that small gate. So I was sitting facing here. My friend was where I'd say the camera is facing me, so they could see the riverbank, they could see the main road, they could see the forest area, and then another friend of mine was sitting to the right of me. And also behind us was also more shrubbery. There was only kind of one area on the bridge that you could see down into the riverbank, which is where my friend was like sitting. He could see it, but Emma and I, that was my friend that was with me, we couldn't see over the edge of the bridge because it was all shrubs. Anyways, this is where the proper story begins. This is the creepiness. We were playing Uno. My friend was playing music really loud. We were having a fun time, and the next thing we hear all this rustling down by the riverbank, as if someone was walking. My friend, who was where the camera was, like, kind of stood up and he was like looking over the shrubs, and he was like, guys, there's like an old man down there. Now, I hadn't told my friends the old man story because I thought they wouldn't go in there if they knew that, and I thought this guy didn't exist because like I'd been in there 3 times and I'd never seen him. So when my friend said old man, I just kind of went, shit. But at the same time, when you're in this situation, even if you think it's something creepy, even if you think you're in danger, whatever, that rational side of your brain always goes, you've watched too many horror films, shut up. So there's me like, oh, probably just some old man in for a lovely stroll, even though how would an old man climb a little fence? I don't know. And my friend was like, he doesn't look stable, like he looks weird, looks like he could be drunk. And, you know, at this point I wasn't really panicked. I was like, wow, okay, some old drunk man with maybe a dog walking around. This is fine, this is Ireland, you know, we're safe. We're up on this bridge, we're playing Uno, he's not going to come up onto the bridge. We can probably outrun this guy to the gate if we have to. So I just said, hey, let's just keep playing. So we kept playing, and the next thing we hear this bang, right? Like someone had fallen. And my friend that was sitting with the camera is like, gets up and goes, oh my god, he's fallen over. And at this point we're like, oh, he must be really drunk. And if you, like, you know yourselves, drunk people can be quite dangerous. So I said to my friends, okay, shit, let's get out of here. So we were picking up our Uno cards, we turned off the music, we were grabbing jackets and everything. And as we were about to go, like I said, there's only like a certain part of the bridge that you can look over. And when I turned around, I was looking down that bit you could see, and so was my friend with the cameras. And he had walked up right under the bridge. And he was like, there's like, where the bridge is, so let's say this is the bridge here, so we're up here, and here's the riverbank. There's also this kind of like concrete cuboid missing where water from the river also pours in, and there's like a railing here. So it kind of goes bridge, nothing, railing, and then riverbank. And this guy was at the railing, gripping onto it, looking straight ahead. And he kind of looked like this as well. He kind of looked up slightly. And I looked him right in the eye. Like, I could see him. And it looked like he was looking directly at us. And I was so freaked out because now that I kind of got a look at the man, it became really real. And when I was saying he was coming at us, what happened was he walked here. He came down this trail. And when he was around here, this is where my friend was sitting facing this way where he could see him. And this guy, he walked up here, he fell somewhere around here. That's when we panicked and said we'd go. And then when I looked down, he was literally at this railing looking up at us. And here's the other thing, this guy looked really creepy. That may sound really rude, and he may see this video, or his relative may see this video and be like, hey, that was just my uncle grandpapa and he's fine and how dare you. But this guy looked creepy. He had like white hair. It was like not even grey, it was white. He was wearing this kind of German style hat. If I can find a picture, I'll put it like here or something. And it was dark brown. And his eyes were like glassy. Like, I know there's probably some like, I don't know, medical reason for this, but his eyes looked like white and cloudy. And he was wearing this like long beige coat, and he honestly looked like something out of a horror film, or like not a horror film, a horror game. And he just, for some reason, he reminded me of the old man from Resident Evil, like the newest Resident Evil. So I just kind of turned to my friends and I was like, oh my god, run. And I was so afraid. My friend and Emma, who I mentioned earlier, who was to my right, we started like walking down the bridge. But my other friend, who just, I'm going to throw his name out there, hope he doesn't mind, Tig, was up on the bridge. He was the friend who saw the old man with me. And he looked down and he just went, guys, stop. And we were like walking down off the bridge and we turned one and he was like, he's moving again. He was moving parallel on the loop to the bridge, to where you start to go up the bridge. And if he had walked down this loop and turned to the bridge, we had nowhere to go. Okay, there was a wall of shrubs here, there was a 4-meter drop here, and then the river was here. And then when I said how my friend Emma and I, we went to go down the bridge and my friend was here, he said, no, stop. The guy, he walked down this way. And our fear was he was going to come up here, because like, there was shrubs, we couldn't go anywhere, and there was a 4-meter drop to the river. But luckily he turned here. If he had turned up onto the bridge, I don't know what any of us would have done. Would we have jumped into the river? Would we have just talked to him like a normal person and you know, try work it out? Or like in my head I was thinking, oh my god, what if this is the same guy? What if he starts yelling at us? What if he pulls out a gun? Even if it's not loaded, that's going to be terrifying. What if he's just really drunk and he throws a bottle at one of us? So many things could have happened. And then that's when we ran down this bridge, we went up this trail, we went down the riverbank, we went through the trail, and as when we got to about here, this is where it gets the creepiest. Now this guy was walking around, and here's me thinking like, okay, maybe he's a squatter, maybe he like is living in this abandoned house, even though it's abandoned. And maybe he was just walking around in a loop because he thought he heard something and he's walked back into his house. That was what I was thinking. So we walked back in this loop through the forest, literally sprinting, hopping logs, pushing branches away until we get back to the trail, which is like this trail here. So bridge, trail, we wrapped around a loop, we're now here. We get to the edge of the loop and we're about to go back into the trail when we see him walking from where the gate was. That he was at the gate, he turned, he walked here. I mean, he literally slowly walked past us and we were right here, and he turned and walked into one of these shrubs. Now this was really creepy because he's after walking up the riverbank, looking up at us, not seeing us for whatever reason. He walks parallel to the bridge, goes back onto the main trail, bypasses the house, he walks down to the gate, and now we're here. So he's just like standing at the gate. He turns around and he walks back up the trail, right? And we're literally panting. We're almost laughing because we're so nervous. We're hiding behind this tree. There is no way he didn't hear us literally sprinting through the bushes and the trail. Us, a tree, him walking, and he doesn't even turn his head. He just walks completely straight past us, right? And we run through some trees towards the gate to like get around him. And the last thing we see as we're like running away is him walking down the trail, and instead of like continuing and turning right further on to get into the house, he turns and starts to walk into a bush. And I don't mean the kind of bush you can walk through. I mean the kind of bush that becomes a wall and he just walks into it. There's no walking through this bush. He just walks straight into it and he stands in the bush facing away from us. At this point, I am terrified. I just sprint towards the gate. Do you know the Uno cards I was talking about? I drop half of them just on the forest floor and I just leave them. I just run, I hop the fence and we're gone. And I know what you may be thinking. How is this creepy? It's just an old man. But the way he was dressed, first of all, his eyes, he walked really slow and as if everything was for like a purpose. His like pace was the exact same, like he could almost, you know, do a beat to like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was just so slow. The way he walked up to the gate, the only exit, and like turned around and walked back, like for no reason. Like instead of just if he was going for a walk, you think he'd just do the loop constantly, but instead he like went up to the gate and just turned around and walked back up again. And the way he like, I swear to God, I looked him in the eye. I thought he could see us. I was waiting for him to be like, what are you doing? But instead he looked us straight in the eye and turns away and like walks somewhere else. I was saying this to my friends. It felt like I was in a horror game and he was an NPC and like he could only see us if we were right in front of him. Like, you know, in video games, and if you're not in like the bad character's radius, like they can be looking right at you but they can't see you. It was almost like that. And like a theory could be, maybe he's like blind and deaf, but if he's blind and deaf, you wouldn't be walking around a forest area with like logs and twigs you can trip on. Like this guy could see, you know, we struggle to walk around this place. So it just begs the question, like, who was this guy? How did he hop this fence? What was he doing by the riverbank? Did he live in this abandoned house? How come I'd been there 3 times in the last, I'd say 5 months, and I'd never seen him, never heard him? My friend and I had gone up to the house, we looked in the windows, there was nothing there, and all of a sudden my friends and I are just hanging out and this creepy guy is walking around the forest, almost silently, bar like when he was walking along the leaves and it was rustling. Like, it just doesn't, the story is just, it doesn't add up. Like, even now I'm terrified to go near that river in case I see him. There was just something off about him, like everything was just weird. He was so silent, he didn't say anything. Now that I think about it, I couldn't even hear him breathe. Like, this may sound really weird, like, how would you hear someone breathe from far away? But like I said, like, we were here and he walked right past us, and generally, this is gonna sound probably like prejudice or like, I don't know the word, everyone's gonna be like, you're a bad person, ageist maybe is the word. But generally, elderly people, like, their breathing's very like, so like, I didn't hear any of that. Like, he was literally silent bar his footsteps, and it's just creepy. Like, I don't believe in ghosts, but, you know, I can see if creepy people like him exist, why people might think they exist. He was literally here, a tree was here, we were here, and this is how we ran. Like, even now I can see if he had just turned around, he could have grabbed me or one of my friends. Like, just the thought of the whole thing leaves me shivering, of like all the what ifs, the almosts, the like why. There's just so many questions unanswered, and like I lived this just 2 days ago. Like this isn't just a story, it's my story. And it was just creepy, and I wanted to share the story with you guys. I don't know, maybe you guys like know what this is, like know, like maybe, I don't know, like does he have a certain illness or like something like that, the reason why his eye clouds, why his hearing's bad, why his eyesight's bad? Do you know people like old men that like to hop small gates and walk by riverbanks? Has anything this creepy ever happened to you? Have you been in like similar situations? Or what do you think was happening? What do you think actually happened to me? Was it just an old man? Do you think it was someone who was squatting in the abandoned house? Do you think it was a ghost? I mean, leave your opinions down in the comments, please, because this is keeping me up the last 2 nights. I need to know. It's creeped me out so much that I almost want to go back, even though that terrifies me, because like I said, I was really creeped out. But I really do want answers. So if you guys have any ideas, please put them down in the comment section. Please help me out, because this is just 1.5 kilometers away from my house, and I'd like to know what's going on. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm sorry I've been gone the last 9 months. I don't know what my upload schedule is going to be. I have to figure that out. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop a like if you think the story was creepy, or if you think the story was just weird. Please comment below your thoughts like I mentioned a minute ago, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And anyways guys, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!
Show me all the places I've never known.
What is he doing? He was like...
And we'll change.